Have you ever imagined waking up one morning, getting ready for work, sending your kids to school, only to find a letter at your door telling you that you have 30 days to leave the country you've called home for years? This isn't a fictional story. This is the new reality for thousands under the UK's latest deportation rule coming into effect in 2025. And what's more chilling, it could happen to people who have lived here for decades. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear could affect you, your friends, or someone you love, even if you think you're safe. In this video, we'll break down the UK's new deportation rule of 2025, what it actually means, who it targets, and why it's already causing outrage among lawyers, human rights activists, and immigrant communities across the country. Starting in January 2025, the UK government will begin enforcing a stricter deportation policy aimed at removing illegal migrants faster and more efficiently. On paper, it's framed as a matter of law and order, but in practice, the new rule opens up dangerous gray areas that could put thousands at risk of removal, even those who've spent the majority of their lives in the UK. The Home Office says this rule applies to individuals who have overstayed their visas, had asylum claims rejected, or are deemed to have no lawful reason to remain in the UK. While that may sound clear, the interpretation of what counts as a lawful reason is vague, and that's where the real concern lies. Imagine living in the UK for over a decade, raising children here, working, contributing to society, only to discover that one missed visa update or an administrative delay now puts you at risk of deportation. That's the nightmare scenario many people are facing. This new rule allows the Home Office to bypass long legal processes and appeal windows, meaning that in some cases, people may not even find out about their deportation order until days before they're due to be removed. It's this lack of transparency and urgency that has alarmed so many. So, who exactly is at risk? According to immigration lawyers, several groups could be affected. International students whose visas have expired, asylum seekers with pending or rejected claims, temporary workers whose documentation is incomplete or delayed, and even spouses of UK citizens who are still waiting on spousal visa approval. In short, no one with an unresolved or borderline immigration case is safe. What's especially heartbreaking is that many of these people aren't new to the UK. They've lived here for years, some since childhood. They speak English fluently, work full-time jobs, and have built their lives in this country. Yet now they face being uprooted from everything they know. Take the case of Aisha, a 24-year-old healthcare worker from Birmingham who was brought to the UK at age 5. Her visa expired last year, and while she was applying for renewal, she received a notice stating she was subject to removal. Or Ahmed, a delivery driver in Manchester, who overstayed his work visa by 2 months because of delays with his sponsor certificate. During a routine traffic stop, he was detained and now faces deportation. These aren't criminals. They're hardworking people, contributing members of society. But under this rule, their humanity seems to take a backseat to bureaucracy. The UK government defends this policy by saying it's necessary to reduce illegal migration and restore public confidence in the immigration system. According to the Home Office, it will only affect those who have no legal right to stay. But critics say the process is far too aggressive, limiting legal aid, shortening appeal timelines, and in some cases, removing people before they've even had the chance to challenge the decision. Is this really about justice, or is it about scoring political points? The public response has been fierce. Protests have already erupted across London, Manchester, Glasgow, and other major cities. Human rights groups argue that this law violates the European Convention on Human Rights, particularly Article 8, the right to private and family life. Even some members of parliament within the ruling party have voiced concerns, warning that the policy could lead to unjust removals and irreparable harm. And now fear is spreading among migrant communities, not just among undocumented immigrants, but even among legal residents who feel they're suddenly being scrutinized in ways they never were before. So what should you do if you think this might affect you or someone you know? First, check your visa and immigration status, even if you think everything is in order. Second, consult with a legal expert if you have any uncertainties, especially if you're in the middle of a visa process or appeal. Third, make sure you're keeping proper records, of employment, tax contributions, housing, and community involvement. Lastly, reach out to trusted community organizations that provide support, advice, and resources for immigrants. Information is power, and in this case, it might be your best form of protection. We're entering a period where the divide between legality and morality is being stretched thin. This isn't just about rules or borders. It's about people's lives, their families, their futures, their sense of belonging. Whether you're an immigrant yourself, a second-generation citizen, or simply someone who believes in fairness and compassion, this issue affects us all. So if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with critical news like this. Your support helps ensure that voices too often ignored are finally heard. Because what happens in 2025 could change everything.